So coming to the company again, our company name is Client First Capital. I'm a founder, shareholder of Client First Capital. We have been in existence for last 7 years as a group. We manage $25 million. The company has grown. In some cases, the company has doubled the wealth already. We have been managing wealth for at least roughly 7 years, but as a fund manager, we have been doing it for 3.5 years. In 2019, we delivered 20% plus return. In 2020, we have returned 36%. And 2021, as we speak, whoever has invested with us in January, we are sitting at 20% gross return. Now, why do we make you money? Because we are a performance fee based fund manager. I myself is an investor. Even most of my employees are investors, and we are giving a unique proposition where others are basically more behaving as a brokers. We feel that it's very important to share your pains and the gains both. So there's an upside for us to work. It is more like a shareholder, more like a partnership structure, where I'm sure all of you who are businessmen here, they are looking for right kind of partners, which is not easy to get. We are one such partner, but we don't take money in our name. We invest your money in great companies in the world. And how do we manage it? Because we also have the similar investments, and we also would like to educate all our investors. Sometimes it looks like this kind of sessions are not needed. People know about Amazon, but I want to share with you. I met somebody who I really respect a lot. He's president of one of the business community here, and the discussion goes like this: there's Amazon's or Tesla's valuation. They're all hype. It's a created valuation. And when I heard this from his mouth, I was like, how can he say this? And then he said, show me if it is profitable. And I showed him that it is $21 billion profit company. He was not believing it. And then I feel so confident that every month I should do it. It could be a common sense, it could be a common knowledge, but it is very uncommon. Just now, somebody also told me community that whatever is sharing is not in our scope. My humble request to all the body investors of mine that you are into business of making money. You are into business. We are discussing business only, and we are sharing the great company's journey with you for free every month, so that you get educated and you put in your money not into the bad businesses but into good businesses. Now today is December 11th. The topic is A to Z of a $1 trillion journey of Amazon. It's officially a 15th perfect recipe for retirement series. We have done many before, and they're all available on YouTube. We have interviewed Vijay Kediaji, we have interviewed Chris Mayer, and it's a learning journey. I think I want to tell you that I've done a lot of mistakes in my career, in my life, in my stock selection, in my personal life, in my professional life, and I'm sure you all have done it. And I think I'm proud of that, because when I'm reading about Mr. Jeff Bezos, what I'm figuring out that they talk about the billions of dollars of mistake which they have committed, and that's how they have become a $1 trillion company, of $1.6 trillion company, and how then they can again go from here. That is also something to be seen. This is our companies. We have an Indian operation run by my brother and my sister-in-law. We have a Dubai operation where I am here. We have a Client First Capital based out of Mauritius, which is a Cat 3 equivalent license, and from there we operate. We use Interactive Broker as one of our custody. However, we can operate with any broker because we are not a broker, we're not an advisor. We are your partners, and your money is invested in your name. One thing I would like to highlight: in no part of this presentation is a buy or a sell recommendation. I also would like to highlight that we own Amazon as part of the portfolio, but please understand that one stock or two stock where you think that it may go up, it can also go down. We are not selecting or recommending any stock. We don't give a stock tip, so please don't consider any part of this presentation as a indication of selling you something. The idea is to learn, the idea is to share knowledge, because more you share and more questions you have been asked to me, I have become a better fund manager, a better person. We have a vision of becoming a global startup. We would like to reduce the wealth inequality. Now, why do we do this session? So that some of your money goes out of property and fixed deposits or gold and come to the real businesses which are ruling the world today. For example, today we're doing this session on Zoom. It's an amazing business. I'm sitting on an Apple laptop or desktop. Some of you must be using Samsung phone. Some of you must be using Acer and HP. We are using the Cisco router or D-Link router. These are also one of the listed companies. Everything which we talk about today is somewhere around the businesses and around those great businesses. So please understand, if you are using the products of those businesses, what is harming you to understand that how can you make money through these businesses? And many of you are selling antiviruses or hardware products of the great companies. What is the harm in understanding that why can't we become the partner of these companies like Asian Paints or JK Cements or RR Kabel, are very famous names in the building material market here, or let's say pharma companies. And I know it is not an easy job, and that's why, to simplify, we are here. It is not an easy job for us either. Now, our job is to reduce wealth inequality. That's why we have also a motto called wealth creation and not only wealth management. We work with a lot of mid-level employees who basically have parked retirement funds with us, and one day we are sure that we will handle the pension fund and the school endowment funds, etc., which is the focus next year. Customer comes first. We are very obsessed with the customer. Their queries are very important and we would like to answer it, and we want to learn from them. I think customer is the only reason we are here. We're also very thankful to Sindhi customers, textile customers, and building material traders who have been helping us because of the performance they have seen. They have been helping us again and again with a lot of their friends. And today we are very proud to tell you that we onboard many customers only by invitation. We don't sell a product, we help you to buy. And that's also we have derived from Amazon, because Amazon, when if you go to the Amazon website and you see a product review, so once upon a time there was a seller who said that why are you giving the negative review about my product? And then Amazon said that look, our job is to basically help our customers to buy and not only you to sell. And that's the beauty of Amazon, that you get the, or any online portal. Now I will not be able to talk about much about the other portal, but Amazon has come in our favor, and that's the whole customer obsession. It's a same in our office. It's a vibrant workplace. We believe in training, we believe in learning. We are creating HNIs and imparting financial education by using these webinars. Let's move to the next slide. Now, Amazon.com has a beauty. Anybody who would like to learn about Amazon, I will tell you, go to the website of Amazon.com, go to their shareholders letters, and tell your children and yourself to read about it. Not only your children or our children, but you should also read about Amazon or any good company or great companies shareholder letters. Now let me focus on this shareholder letter. Company was created in 1995. 2 years down the line, Amazon became public. How it became public and what was the obsession? Mr. Jeff Bezos was paying everybody in shares. So all the suppliers, he was requesting if they can take the share of Amazon. He went to friends and family. He went to 50 people, and 50 people he have asked only $50,000. And he said that it is a common tendency in people to not to give money. And out of that, 20 people gave the money. They gave him $1 million, and he gave them a stake worth 20% of the company. And those $1 million have turned into couple of hundred millions of dollars, and that's how he raised money in the starting stage. 1997 he came public and he raised the equity in the share market, and we'll come to know about that as well. And this particular shareholder letter of 1997 he puts in every year in his shareholder letter. Let me tell you, I don't know how many of you know about it. Every public company has to disclose their financials every quarter. Every year they conduct a meeting. There you and I can go as a shareholder. Now it is happening on Zoom or digitally, but physically you can go. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway meetings are very famous, where I go every year, and hopefully this year COVID doesn't stop me to. So next year I will be there physically. There are very good learning lessons. While I'm talking to you about Amazon, I'm so engrossed in the learning space because so many times they have talked about that they're learning today as well. A $1.6 trillion company, a $200 billion worth net worth. The CEO, the founder CEO of Amazon is saying that we're still learning. And that is, I think, I want to tell all of you that we should keep learning. I was never be a fund manager earlier. Amazon has, now about this letter, Amazon has passed many milestones in 1997 by year end. We had served more than 1.5 million customers. And it has yielded an 838% revenue growth, that is massive, at $147.8 million, and expect our market leadership despite aggressive competitive entry. But this is day one for the internet, and if we execute well for Amazon.com, today online commerce saves customers money and precious time. I think that's a very important and valid point in 1997 when he said online commerce saves customers money and precious time. I'm gonna show you that how, because he has again mentioned that in 2020 annual letter as well. Tomorrow through personalization. Now this is very, very important. A person writing in 1997 and then he is doing it for the next 20-25 years, that is commendable. Personalization. They said, I was watching Amazon's documentary, you must watch on the YouTube, and it says that data is everything. And if you know about people's behavior, if you know about their data, how much, so they basically know how much you have. In fact, not only on Amazon, even on the internet, how much time you spend on a website, what item you took in a basket but did not order, how, where you pause, how much you pause, all is being recorded. And that's what he is mentioning in the personalization word. That is one word is very important. So he said, tomorrow through personalization, online commerce will accelerate the very process of discovery. And that's what he said. I do not have a conquer mindset. I have a explorer mindset. He doesn't want to conquer one business or Walmart or competition. He want to explore what's new over there. And today also, when I look at the products of Amazon, I feel like, oh, this was not there. So I don't know how many of you know, Amazon has come with the eco glass frame, because they have realized that a lot of us are wearing these glasses. So they have an eco glass frame which will work more as a headphone and Alexa inbuilt in this, and it is improving. It is in a very early stage, but I can definitely tell you, since there's so many people who wear glasses, I think this will be a couple of 100 millions of sales for them when the frame will be launched. So it's a brilliant way of thinking that they can put a mic and a speaker here, and I'm sure, who knows, tomorrow they will use this as a LED screen. I think Google is also working on it and Apple is also working on it. So one more sentence I want to highlight, it's all about long term. Now see, when we invest in the stock market, many of us are not making money in the first 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. But we feel very sad about it and we don't give more money to invest. But a guy in 1997 is saying it's all about the long term. And they sacrifice long term, they've sacrificed a lot of profits for the growth. Now, why did they sacrifice the profit? They said a very simple reason we sacrifice the profit, because we want a lot of people to go out of the business. So that's very non-traditional. People don't understand this. We were discussing it in the morning again. That's, we love samosa or pizza. Pizza. If I ask all of you who are sitting there, do you love samosas or pizza? I'm sure you will say samosa. But the question is, do you get the samosa everywhere? But when you go and ask your children, they'll say pizza. Now, what changed between us and our children that samosa has become pizza? Because the American companies have sold them pizzas free of cost or at a 50% discount, and they have marketed and influenced them so much about pizza, and samosa is also not available across the world. That has made them to talk only pizza and burger and cold drink, and that's what has happened in the long run. So what I'm trying to say, we need to understand that this company was very clear in 1997 itself. They made the goals for 1998, and they said 1997 was an incredible year. Now let me take you to the Amazon uh, current annual report, and I want to show you how are they crediting their customers. So this is the Amazon 2020 annual report. All of you can see it. It's very easy to go to the Amazon website and download it. And he said in 1997, I first talked about creating enduring franchise. See, all great companies talk about franchise. And today, Amazon basically talk about 1.5 million customer accounts. They've passed 1.5 million customer account. 60% of their sale is third party sale. It means Amazon is enabling small businessmen to go and sell. They have hired in last year itself, they've hired 500,000 employees. Here we struggle, here we struggle to hire 10 employees. They've hired 500,000 employees, and now they've become 1.3 million people in the world. That's what I wanted to show. They have more than 200 million Prime members in the worldwide. They have 1.9 million small and medium-sized business to sell on our store, and they represent 60% of the sale. The invention which they are mentioning, who were not even the ideas. So Amazon Prime, we all use it. Amazon Marketplace, I don't know how many businessmen sell over there, but I'm sure there are many. People now come and gift Alexa. So we just received an Alexa as a gift. I already had an Alexa. Children really enjoy Alexa. AWS, I don't know how many of you know Andy Jassy, who is the current CEO of Amazon and the last CEO or the ex-CEO of AWS. Amazon Web Server is if Amazon is worth 2 trillion, for example, 1 trillion comes from AWS. AWS is a fantastic business. The whole world is migrating on the cloud. For example, as a company, we don't have a database server. It's all on the cloud. Similarly, a lot of new companies are coming on the cloud, like Netflix, Zoom. Right now, we are having this meeting, and it's on the cloud. And that cloud is somewhere either Amazon or other company. So Amazon has the biggest market share on the cloud. Even Netflix, when you watch a movie, it is registered somewhere on the cloud and it is played on the cloud. So all that is basically Amazon Web Server. Now, how did he create it and what he's created? He said, along the way, we have created 1.6 trillion wealth for shareholders. What does he mean? He means that today people who are owning Amazon shares, that the worth is 1.6 trillion dollar. And he's asking, who are they? He's saying, one is me. Your share is one, and my Amazon share have made me wealthy. But more than 7 to 8 by 8 shares representing 1.4. So he's saying I only own 200 billion. 1.4 trillion is owned by pension funds, which means we are indirectly the owner of pension funds, universities, the endowment funds, and the retirement funds. And he said they're also common people, Mary and Larry. Now, this Mary and Larry have written a letter to Amazon owner that we have been owning your share for let's say from the 1997. We never sold it, and today the share is worth that one of my son is buying a house out of that, and they have just told thank you, and they've expressed their thank you. And Jeff says that I keep receiving this kind of letter. That is the wealth creation. Now you tell me, you might be a 100 million dirham net worth business customer here. Who has created more wealth? I'll talk about myself. Jeff has created more wealth for a lot of people. That's what we should learn from Amazon. He also promotes create more than you consume. All the big people talk about create more than you consume. So I'm sure he has lived his idea so many long. He also gives us stock collection. How, I don't know how many of you know about it, but let's see Amazon Jeff Bezos interview when he was not listed. So let's hear from Jeff himself when the company was not listed. So not watch the. I'll just so basically Jeff Bezos saying we titles where this is a very large number of titles, a lot of books which are out of print. I want to make them, and his dream he has fulfilled. Today, I think, I don't know if many people who go and buy, but we all are buying through the online. 40%, 41% of market share of the books is controlled by Amazon, and that's a great achievement, I will say. And that's what you should definitely watch. We'll share the link with you. And then Amazon went public. Let's see what Jeff Bezos has to say after they went public. Customer obsession on these two videos, and the title is a book why he selected. Now let's come back to the 2020 annual report, and now he is discussing create more than you consume. He's also saying that the people who have this shares, who are these people? They're common people like Larry and Mary, and yes, I am also having 10%. He's also giving a very good lesson about the stock market. So a lot of you tell me that Amazon is very costly today, or Google or Apple for that matter, because some of you only look at the share price. But look at what he said. If you want to be successful in business or in life, actually, you have to create more than you consume. And I think the Asian society is the best, where they create more and they consume less. But there's some problem where what they consume and where they consume. I think that a lot of assets of us goes into the properties and the fixed deposit, which do not grow. But I'm sure that is changing now. So your goal should be to create value for everyone you interact with. That's very important. So guys, if I don't create value for you here in this talk, I will love to. I will tell you that please, this is not. I'm not your. But you give me the feedback that I'm not creating value for you, and I'm doing this because it is creating value for me and for everyone I interact. A lot of people give me the feedback that they are liking it. We've got a lot of customers through these. So value creation, whomever you talk to, and if somebody is not creating value in your life, you be upfront and tell them that, look, I think my association with you is not really helping me. That's what I think the message I want to draw from here. Now let's go into the next line. Any business that doesn't create value for those it touches, even if it appears successful on the surface, is not long for this world. And that's very important, and it's on the way out. Example, you are giving credit to a customer, and I've been always telling and yelling at all my customers that stop giving credit. If you're giving credit, it should be a very time limit, and you should get your money on time, else that customer is not for you. And look what has happened. A lot of people have said, oh, you don't understand, our business is different. You are in a very good business, you just get money from people and you say, oh, I will make you money, then I will charge you as I don't care. Where I have to supply goods, I have so much competition. Hello, I'm sorry to say, we have also a lot of competition, but what do we focus in is in customer, and we want to make sure we focus on the great customers. And today our customers, we are proud of the customers we have onboarded. They understand the propositions, and they are willing to wait for 5 years to create their wealth. Because when we create value, people will wait. When we create value, customers will hear us. We want to onboard customers who take our phone call in 1 minute, or they should call us back. Where if we are calling somebody 10 times and he is not picking our call, that kind of value creation we need to understand. So if you are giving somebody credit for 12 months, are you really creating value in his life? Maybe not. You are more acting as a money lender. So this is what I think this is very important for all of us to understand, that we should only onboard customers, or we should become somehow that everyone give us the advance money and they feel that we are creating value for them. Now remember, this is very important. Jeff Bezos teaching us stock investment. Remember that stock prices are not about the past. They are prediction of future cash flow discounted back to the present. The one of the richest guy on the earth is telling us that stock price is the prediction of the future cash flow discounted back to the present. The stock market anticipates. I'm going to switch gear for my moment and talk about the past. Now he's talking about the past. How much did I create for my shareholder in 2020? So how much money, not the market cap. And he said we created $21.3 billion, because it's a very easy to calculate using the accounting method. That's net income of Amazon this year. And remember, in 1997, the sale was $1.47 million. Now he's saying if you own the whole company, you would have taken home $21 billion. That's what he said. Then he talked about how much our employees make, and he said employees make roughly $91 billion. So he's saying that I am the last man to take the pie and the cream, and everybody else comes first. And then he talked about third-party sellers, and he said roughly $25 billion they made. And accordingly, he keeps talking about what people make, and then he put that into a table. I cannot go and read the whole letter for you, but I want to tell you that please understand that these learning comes very simple if we have the time and patience to read it. Let me go back to my presentation and learning for Amazon from Mr. Jeff Bezos directly. Now this is the interviews we just showed you, and now we talk about the core group and officers. Jeffrey Bezos, 1994, incepted the company. Andy Jassy joined the company in 1997, who is the current CEO. Brian Olsky, Adam Selpsky, and David Clark. These are the foundation team. We also investigated and we found that Andy is only worth $500 million. Rest of the people are not that rich. So in this company, what we found that Jeff Bezos is one of the richest guy, and it is not being shared with other people, like it has happened in Google or it has happened in the Apple. So this is something, or Microsoft for that matter. So we have to give the credit to Jeff Bezos for doing this. Now let's move forward to the next slide. And now, Jeff Bezos personally owned these businesses like Blue Origin and Workday and Lookout, etc. Some of the business he would have also sold. And Amazon is a holdco company. Amazon is a holding company like Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, and it owns these many companies. And one of the biggest company is AWS, the Amazon Whole Foods, and Amazon Retail. Now, you also know there's a company called Twitch, which Amazon bought. IMDb is bought by Amazon. Audible is a platform where you can read the books. It's also owned by Amazon. There's a company called Goodreads that's also owned by Amazon. I'm sure we know Amazon Prime, Amazon Music. It's owned by Amazon. So that's what the Amazon own. When you own Amazon itself, you are owning roughly 100 companies. At this level, Amazon is growing their revenue for last 10 years 25% year on year, and the earnings have grown 42%. Now we need to focus as an investor on these three figures, which is return on equity, earnings, and revenue. And as long as that is happening, we are assured of the wealth creation. Two more highlights, which is very well put by the Client First Capital team. They have increased their R&D expenses. A company worth of 1.6 trillion is increased the R&D to 11% year on year. They also have capital expenditure which they have increased. Now, why have they done so? Because primarily to what Warren Buffett think that a mature company does not really need a lot of money to expand. But today's fast changing world, if you are not spending money for the future, how will you capture the earnings in the future? Now, I was very surprised when I was preparing this presentation. I was very surprised to see that there is something called Alexa Eco Frame. I want to just highlight the frame to you because many of us are using glasses here, and I think this is a product worth buying in the future, which is gonna change or revolutionize the way we communicate and we see. This is an Alexa frame, which is on the sideline. If you can see, there is a mic, there's a touch screen, and it is in the early stage. They are coming with generation 2. I can tell you, if we are using headphone today, this is going to be a revolutionized product in the future because it has got mic, it has got headphone, and I don't know, but I'm sure it give me a sense to think that they'll also use the glasses very soon as a TV screen. So that's what the innovation I wanted to show you about Amazon's culture. Now, how this is happening, why Amazon work culture is great, and that is what the next thing. Because when you see a financials, when you see a company growing, there is always behind that the human and the work culture. Now, what is Amazon's work culture? That's very important to understand. Now, former and current employees are basically the pillar of Amazon's work culture. Let me tell you, many of my friends have now been hired by Amazon in India and across the continent. Amazon, as we discussed, is 235 location. Every state, Amazon is a fulfilling center. Amazon has an office, and it is one of the biggest company on earth. Amazon has been awarded in 2021 as the best place to work in Atlanta, in Seattle, and Los Angeles. It's basically one of the best company to work with. That's what the third party have awarded. Now, this is very important. I don't know how many of you know that Amazon started this company called Amazon Web Services only to manage the pictures and the review of the product which they were selling, and then they realized that they have too much of bandwidth and not everything is being used by the Amazon retail, and then they eventually take it out and they start promoting it to others. And today Amazon Web Services has become roughly $700+ billion business. Amazon does not promote presentation, which I'm using with you. Amazon, in fact, believe in a 6-page documentation. Their employees, they meet for 30 minutes and they read each of the documents and then they move next from there. So this is a very different culture which does not promote PowerPoint, because PowerPoint is needed when I think if they feel that when you're not prepared. So this is something very alarming, very different. So they challenge the status quo. That's very important to understand here, because work culture, whenever we also invest nowadays, we look at the work culture, that whether the employees are put to the task or not. So there's one interesting thing which I want to quote. So Amazon has this shipping, they basically pay you per hour, and the most of the employees work on the fulfillment center, and they pay you actually double the average of the US market rate. And once you, and they have a this target that you have to achieve this many fulfillments or this many shippings on a particular time or day, and once you reach that, they keep increasing the rate of delivery. It could be more like robotic, but I can tell you one thing, that this is how they are telling all the employees that you are disposable. There's one more line going to come in the next, which I think you can think about your business as well. Amazon offers you $5,000 to quit. And that's a very interesting thing which I was observing, and I want to take you there before we go to the next slide. So this is a very interesting slide. I want to tell you, how do you retain your employees? Because the basic challenge today, so I have a very good friend of mine, and he had his accountant who was very ambitious, and he now just left him, and he's not coming with him. He wants to start his own accounting company, etc. So the biggest challenge I think all of us are going to face in the future is how to retain talent. Look at how the trillion-dollar companies are retaining talent. That's very important for all of us to understand. So Amazon offer $5,000 per employee to quit, but once they decide to leave, they also will be signing away any chance to rejoin the Amazon workforce in the future. Now, how does it signify? What does it signify? And it signifies a very, very simple manner, that if I have an employee who is half-hearted, should I work, should I not work, oh, I don't like the work culture, this and that, he should take some money and leave, because if he is going to be there in the workplace for longer period of time, he is going to harm the company because he doesn't like it. So Jeff says that there are three type of people: one who have a career, one who have a job, and one who have a liking. And he said if you have a liking or a passion, that's what you should work for. Same thing Warren Buffett said. I also want to highlight that the world's two top richest, Mr. Elon Musk and Mr. Jeff Bezos, and the top 10 richest, which is Warren Buffett, they all have a very good laughter. They laugh really their lungs out, and we must learn that how simple they are, and they think on a problem and they keep building on, etc., etc. The 1 hour is very small for me to cover the whole thing, but I want to tell you how the whole thing started. So Jeff was selling books from the website. The web business was growing 2,300% year on year. And then these people, they started selling a lot of books. The books came to the fulfillment center, and they started now talking to publishers, and they become one of the publishers as well. So they started basically monopolizing the publishing market, the book publishing market. Then they added toys, they added the electronics, and they keep selling. And then what happened, that eventually they realized that there's a lot of heat being generated on the fulfillment center, and some of the people were running or walking 10 miles in the logistics center to fulfill the Amazon deliveries. So then they discovered robots. They were so happy that they acquired the robot company, and in the fulfillment center now robots were basically helping them in shipping and logistics. What Jeff said, that hundreds of experiments we do in our fulfillment center every day, which make us, or they are called incremental innovation, and they make them somewhat better from the last year or last month or last date. And that is the key. And he's saying innovation is key. I have dared to take experiment. In fact, I am aware of a company called jungle.com. So Amazon invested in jungle.com, and what happened, jungle.com is an Indian venture. It got busted, and he did not make any money. So there was a guy called Professor Ram, who was very good friend of Jeff Bezos, and he told him about Google. Because of this, he knows, he came to know about Google, and Jeff insisted Ram that I want to invest in Google. And Larry Page and his partner, they agreed to take his money even after the round was closed, because he was a very well celebrated person, and he invested $1 million in Google, and I don't know how much it is worth, but it is worth very very big. That's the story. That's how Jeff was running after the businesses. Even Alexa was bought over by Amazon, and now Astro is coming. So I want to show you Astro also, but let's complete this. So 1.2 billion. So they also have program for employees. For example, how many of our employees have ever got a training? How many of us are focusing on upskilling them every 6 months or 5 months? For example, Vipassana courses or NLP, or let's say an internet course or technology course or financial services courses or an Excel sheet course. These are the very essential skills, because the real asset who run the business are the people and not our inventory. So Amazon has more than 750,000 employees in the US who are eligible for a fully funded college tuition, including cost of classes, books, and place to work. It is not Amazon, it is in Google, Apple. All the big companies are offering these kind of incentives. They also offer you the stock option. And the good thing is, so I don't know how many of you know about stock option, but in every company, you get some of the salary as the part of share. And these shares are allocated to you every year. You get 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. So let's say my salary is $1 million. Up to $150,000 I will get the shares, but these shares will be given to me only in 5 years, because every year I will be eligible to only buy or vest worth, let's say, 25%. But in Amazon it was not the case. In Amazon this was first year 5%, then 15%, and then 40%, and then 40%. So what happened? It promotes retention. But the problem is, the moment you complete your 1 year and if you are a good employee, you will get more shares as part of your appraisal. So you keep on getting the shares every now and then when your appraisal is good. And with that, you will also see the share price going up. So whenever you will leave Amazon, you will lose easily a big chunk of your variable salary, and that is a carrot strategy where employees are not leaving Amazon. That's what the my take. Having said that, Amazon has now changed this, and the employees have to buy shares from the common market. We will cover that in another session, because Amazon cannot be covered in one session. I talked about pay to quit. I told you why they have pay to quit also. Now Amazon Astro. So I'm sure how many of you consider Alexa as a robot, I don't know, but Alexa is kind of a robot which is doing your job. And just to tell you that Alexa is now also helping the Arabic clients to speak in Arabic. The Hindi came long ago. Alexa is compatible with more than 150,000 devices in the world. You can switch on, you switch off your lights. Many of these things still do not work very well, but I'm sure every day with the artificial intelligence and data, Alexa is learning. So data is the key. I want to repeat, Amazon is focusing too much on data. All the great companies are focusing on data, and if they have your sense of your data, they can influence you. I have been repeating this earlier also. So let's say I go to internet and I just search, let's say I want to buy an iPhone 12, and once I search iPhone 12 on the net, it will influence me everywhere, and then I will be bound to love with iPhone 12 or 13, and I might buy. So what and Jeff Amazon says that it is so easy to predict people once you have the hang of their data. So data is the key in the 21st century, and if we are not capturing data, like I'm sure we understand and we agree that when we go to a shop, very few data points are collected. They only collect your name nowadays or number. But when you walk into the Amazon store, like an online store you're walking through, and each and every move is recorded and is being used in later stage of life to sell or influence you more products. Having said that, Amazon is launching Astro as well. So the continuous key to create wealth is innovate, innovate, and innovate. And Astro, I feel, is an Alexa with the mechanical background. So you have a robot walking with you. It's like a dog. So I can't afford a dog, but I will definitely be able to afford an Astro, and it will be walking with me throughout the day, and I can go with it anywhere, and I can tell her, check who is there on the door, go tell mama to come, mama that I'm hungry, or mama tell it mama see where my children are. So Astro will go and talk to my children. So I can definitely tell you, I can see a vision when Astro will be at our home. Right now, I think very few people can order it, but it will be a reality when we will see Astro. Similarly, the what else Amazon is doing? Amazon has bought this Rivian company, which is now publicly listed. It has not delivered a single car. It is worth $120 billion company where Amazon owns 20%. Amazon has also taken a pledge that they want to reduce the climate footprint. And now let me talk about climate footprint. So when you order on Amazon or Noon or any online shop, a person comes to you with the goods and they deliver on your doorstep. Now, when a person comes to you and deliver to your doorstep, the lot of carbon dioxide gets emitted. A lot of carbon emission happens. It happens in many ways. The one is the car itself. The second is the human itself. And the third is the item you carry. It could be a food or whatever. Now, if you replace the car with the electric car, you reduce the carbon footprint. The second thing is if you do not use a human, then you reduce a further footprint. If you use drone, an electric drone, you might reduce a lot of footprint. And that's what Amazon or the big companies are working, where they will make it a very highly ESG compliant company. They talk about all this ESG and footprint, but I think at the end of the day, they want to make sure that they do the great job, they do the good job, and they also reduce their cost while doing so. So they have already ordered 100,000 electrical delivery van in 2024 from this company called Rivian. They are also focusing on digital payments. So I don't know how many of you know, but credit card companies like Visa, MasterCard, American Express, they're amazing businesses. They get a cut everywhere we go and we pay through cards. Today, card is a more convenient than cash. Every now and then we pay through cards. Every time you pay through card, you pay 1 or 2 or 3% to the card company. How do you pay it? It is being charged by the merchant. Amazon and other companies like Google Pay and Samsung Pay and Apple Pay, they want to enter this market because there's a huge transition happening on a daily basis, and they want to capitalize on this. India is a big market. I'm sure Paytm is listed. We are aware of it. So Amazon has invested roughly $365 million in Amazon Pay, and they have invested $135 million in the year-end festival in India. So Amazon also wants to capture this market. So one thing I can tell you, this company, what I feel, what I have seen, and I am learning is today also, they love innovations. The problems come, they're very common. They're not scared. They are getting us the new products on a daily basis. They are one more thing which is I want to forget before. I think we have 4 minutes before I take the questions. So in this particular thing, when I was reading, it's a very good analogy is given that how Amazon Prime customers are benefited. So I have a request to all of you to please read this particular thing, because it is very difficult for me to cover this, but you must read it. I'll tell you why. They talked about that when we go out. So let's do one thing. We have some participants, and let me ask anybody who's okay to answer. So Swati, you are there. Can I ask you a question, or anybody of you? Vikas, if you can participate, it'll be great. Saloni, if you can participate, because I want to share something with you which I have realized as well.
Yes, please, Mayan.
Yeah. So Santosh or Swati, anybody can answer. So let's say you want to buy a t-shirt from the market and you want to get a good deal. Can you tell me how much time it will take for you to procure that t-shirt?
But I would say, is it a need or like I need it, or just like, it's a, what we call sudden shopping kind of?
No, so let's say it's a planned buy. You want to go and do shopping. How much time and money you will spend to buy a t-shirt? Because the one is that t-shirt cost. But if you calculate the whole time period, so how much time it will for you to buy a t-shirt and come back to your home and relax?
Okay, if I went for shopping and I want to buy it and I got a good deal, then I.
Right. So in buying the deal, Swati, what you should notice that you prepare yourself, you prepare your baby, both the husband and wife are going out, and many a time while going out we became hungry. We use petrol, we use time, we use parking, And by the time we come back, it could have been 3 or 4 hours, and we would have just bought a t-shirt and we got a good deal, but we don't realize that the whole cost, the time. So which is what is mentioned here, that when we get to dollar figure, let's value time saving as $10 per hour. I totally agree to it. I don't know whether you agree to or not. And he's saying it is very conservative. So world's richest man is telling us that $10 per hour is at least everyone's cost. Believe me, I went to Dubai Mall to buy a shoe, and it is not easy to park the car in Dubai Mall and come back, and you're still getting things costly. To return the goods also, you have to go back to the shop, Dubai Mall. Yesterday we ordered an iPhone and we didn't like it, and today we basically send it back and we don't have to really do anything. So this is an amazing innovation which I want to highlight with the conversation, that he's saying every Prime Value member, which I am a Prime member, save $630 every year, and here they have got 200 million Prime customers and they save $126 billion. I live in executive towers, and yesterday or day before yesterday we were coming in the lift, and we were coming with the Choitram grocery, and we met a neighbor who works in an insurance company, and we asked him. He said, "Arey, abhi bhi aap grocery वगैरह जा रहे हो?" So you know what do they do? They order on noon.com and they customize it, that I need eggs every 3 days, I need bread every 4 days, I need this vegetables every 3 days. I know many of us will not agree to that, but one thing we'll agree, that how great time saving these online companies are. And I'm again traveling, and we've ordered again online, because knowing that even after going to the store, it is going to be the higher cost or same cost. I want to save my time, because time is money. And as per Jeff Bezos, $10 per hour even you can save. And I feel that my time is much worth or more worth than that. So I have a request to all of you, that please read this. Online commerce has really changed our life. It's a very simple thing. For example, I know watching movie in a cinema is a fun, but not every movie is worth that watch. But with Netflix, at $10, if four people can watch at home, even if you add the cost of popcorn, it is much cheaper and much convenient to watch. And that's why even the big movies, the big mega movies, are getting released on Amazon or Netflix simultaneously. Like Bell Bottom is a movie which was in theater, and probably we watched in the theater, and the moment we came back from the theater, it was available on the OTT platform as well. So I'm saying somewhere these businesses are really saving us a lot of time. A lot of us are realizing, and they're buying online. We are the one who are waking up late. Maybe you have woke up late, but I know a lot of people only order online. And I think this is changing life. This is changing the way we consume, and that's what Amazon kind of companies understand. So I have a request to all of you, that please go through the particular presentation which I have shared with you, which will be shared with you after the call. Go through the videos or audios and the interview of Jeff Bezos. The future is changing. You can't sitting duck and make money, but I can tell you one thing for sure, that I am not selling my Amazon shares, which doesn't mean you should buy. I have done my study, and every time I study this company, I feel so proud about it. Thanks to all of you, that because of you, I could read and learn more about the company. I also want to thank Client First Capital team, who have created this fantastic presentation. And this is only one part of the story. We'll soon come back to you with the financials and the more about their work culture, their leadership principle, which we could not share with you. But now time for question. Many of you are watching us right now. Please ask questions if you have any particular about this company. Everybody, even Client First Capital employees, please feel free to ask questions. It's all about our individual learning growth, because you all have to learn from these companies to make even our company and our personal life much better. Please, Anil ji.
Bhuvan, I'm Anil.
Ji, Anil ji.
I'd like to ask you a question. I do know about Amazon. I have shares in Amazon.
Amazing.
And I'm also convinced about the company. What I'd like to know is that if it's so good a company, should one increase their investment into this company? Meaning, as part of a percentage of your portfolio, if it's so good, can I just say, okay, I'm putting 30% of my portfolio into Amazon.
Okay, that's a good question, a very good question. So, friends, Mr. Anil is online. He's been, I think, he's the only person I'm seeing his video for last 1 hour, and it's a very interesting question. He's asked that I already have Amazon shares, and can you also Anil share with all of us how much have you made in terms of percentage in Amazon, and how long is your holding?
Well, I bought some shares in 2018, which are up 100 some percent. And then I bought more now in 6 months back, which obviously are not so up. They're more or less similar to what I bought in July.
Right. So, just Anil, one thing I want to tell you: whenever you invest in the stock market, Warren Buffett says minimum 10 years. I will tell you minimum 5 years. One. The second thing is investing 30% of your, let's say, liquid net worth is, I will not recommend. Not because Amazon cannot grow from here. Amazon should definitely grow from here. But let's understand asset allocation is also very important. So instead of Amazon, you can buy Apple, Google, and Microsoft. They're equally great. They have amazing data power. So you can increase your allocation in Amazon, but making it 30% means you know a lot about the company, because even Jeff cannot predict. He himself said that after the 10 year, I don't know where my company is. Now you never know. Jeff Bezos traveled to moon and he dies. And if he dies, people become negative. There's nothing happened in the business, but you start losing money, and then you will be also scared and sell it, because I don't know how much you read about the company. I have a company where the CEO is no more. I have not sold it. There's a company where founder is now a chairman and the outsiders become CEO. It is down. I have not sold it because I was comfortably owning 10% of that company in my whole liquid net worth. So not even liquid net worth, of my liquid net worth is only 5%. So my request to you is that 30% is more like, greed. Oh wow, I made money in this share, I want to buy more. Are you convinced about the company's growth, and are you into the reading habit, and do you think you have a neck for stock market picking? If you are somebody like us who at least spend 2 to 3 hours in a day to read about the stock market investing, then probably you can go to 15-20%. If not, then I will say at your cost level it should not increase more than 10. At your cost allocation or portfolio allocation should not grow more than 10%. Once it grows to 30%, that's fine.
Yeah, because I do have stocks in all these big companies, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, and so obviously I'm just trying to see if there's any that I should increase, or I understand better just not put all your eggs in one basket and just balance it out amongst all good companies.
Okay. How many companies do you have total in the portfolio?
I would have about maybe about 50 companies. I have bigger amounts in the big companies, which are like more anchor stocks. Then I do have some in growth companies, which I would like to identify growth companies and see good returns on those. So I have smaller amounts in various growth companies. But of course, the bigger amounts are in the anchor stocks, which are well established.
Is somebody managing your portfolio, or you're doing on your own?
No, I'm doing it on my own. I've gone on trying to learn it up, and every day I'm learning more and more. So
how do you learn? Like you are reading a book or something, or you are?
I'm reading, I'm listening, like the webinar, I'm listening on YouTube, I read a bit. I'm just getting information from.
Fine. Only one thing, that if you have 50 companies on the portfolio, it is very difficult to manage. So just now you told me that don't put all your eggs in one basket, but if you see your all eggs are in one basket, and we don't recommend not to have all the eggs in one basket. In fact, we want you to have all the eggs in one basket. Hear me out. It's a very different approach. So you would have heard, don't put eggs in one basket. So you have, let's say, 10 real estate in Dubai, 10 real estate in India. You have 5 businesses. You have gold in the locker here, you have gold in India, you have fixed deposit here, you have fixed deposit there, you have insurance policy there, insurance policy here. And in the end, how the hell I manage my baskets?
Yeah.
So we tell the clients, or we tell all our investors, or we tell ourselves, have your eggs in one basket. Because in fact, we have one investor who is 80 years old and he's selling everything. Because just now he feels uncomfortable for no reason. He's selling everything. Sell this, sell that, give me cash from everywhere. He just starts feeling scared. You know how human mind is.
Yeah.
What we are suggesting people to have eggs in one basket, which is manageable, liquid, available in a pick of button. Maybe you pay 5 or let's say 1 or 2% of the asset allocation cost to one of your active fund manager or one of the advisors, and you watch them very carefully. So when you have 15-20 companies, you will, the tendency of you learning is higher. At 50 companies, sir, believe me, I am not able to read on 12 companies. How will I manage 50 companies? So 50 companies is like, or maybe you take a research advice, a paid advice, where you can know more about what has gone wrong in the company. So 50 is too much. Please bring it down to 10 to 15. And companies which have made you money, you should know why they have made you money, and always have a 5-year horizon. So Amazon has not made you money this year. Let me tell you why. I think that's what you want to know. Do you know why Amazon did not make you profits this year in the share market?
Not very sure, but I feel because this year online the expected revenue was lesser when they did announce the results in October or September. It was lesser.
That's correct. That's correct. But the question is why it is lesser. You're absolutely correct. But why it is lesser, that's more important.
Yeah. I don't remember right now, but yes.
So I want to tell, no problem. I will give you an example and we'll finish the question there. So whenever you see the inflation or the energy price going up, you will find that that year the consumer discretionary companies don't make money. And Amazon is the consumer discretionary company, if you are aware of that. Amazon is trying their best to manage, but having said that, this year majority of the profits have been eaten away by the shipping or the energy company. And because of that reason that Amazon is unable to beat the sales. Next year is a very bright year because a lot of these problems Amazon has solved. So having said that, no share is going to make you money year on year. So you already made 100%. I think 5 years you can just keep quiet and keep on loading on the shares with keeping your asset allocation intact, because I'm no one to comment on your asset allocation. I have no idea about your asset allocation. I hope I answered.
Yes, very right. I understand what you said.
Anil ji, क्या करते हैं आप? By the way, I don't know you, so I have no idea.
Yeah,
Are you?
I'm actually in Canary Islands in Spain.
Okay.
And my brother-in-law, he suggested me your name. He's Bharat Moinani from Ghana.
Okay.
So he was here 2 weeks back, so he spoke to me about you. Okay. So I said, yeah, okay, let me get in touch. And so he sent me this link when you had the meeting.
Okay.
And so yes,
So,
it is very interesting. And
yeah. So what you can do also, you can show me your returns, let's say in 2.5 years, and I can show you mine. I might be lower than yours, but if I am giving you more than 10, I think that is what we should see truthfully, and maybe I can become one of your business associate, and you can also I know I will also learn from you. But 50 is too much, sir. 50, I don't know how you manage.
Why 50? Because we are subscribed to companies like Motley Fools,
Yes.
or Seeking Alpha. So then when they suggest some stocks, we have bought a bit of it, which are like growth stocks. So just to have it, they obviously do their research, and then we read about it. We don't go so deep. We just take the word that they give us. We read about it a bit. If we are convinced, we buy. So that's where we've bought so many, but always on a smaller allocation.
Yes, I think that you are going through Motley Fool actually.
Like last year, we bought Zoom. So Zoom shot up a lot. And then this year I put a stop loss that if it drops 20%, sell. So then it just got sold a few weeks back because it dropped 20%. So I made money. I'm not sure whether I did the right thing by selling because it still appears as a good company to hold for long term. But sometimes I think maybe we should, I mean, buy low and sell high, and sometimes get the profit instead of just holding it all the time.
Okay, so I think we'll have a detailed meeting one to one. You seem to be a very interesting person. I think a lot of things I will also learn from you. Do you have any other question, or can I take some question from other people?
Let others speak, but definitely we both can. I want to learn and start doing things with you.
Sure, we'll definitely catch up. So very great of Mr. Bharat too. And I think you also asked very good questions. So thanks for asking those questions. Anybody else who would like to ask? Santosh, Rajesh ji, Vikas, Mr. Chandrakant, thank you for coming on the call. Okay, so that's a very direct and I was not prepared. But so Vikasji, Gautami, our marketing person, and Anirudh is on the call. They will touch base with you. We'll do a one-to-one meeting because I always promise that it has to be an education session. One-to-one, maybe tomorrow or in this week, we will do it on Zoom and take it forward. You might give your introduction to know more about you. Maybe everybody will come to know about you.
Fine. So I'm also working professional based in Dubai.
Okay.
And I know Mr. Gulshan Aring very closely.
Okay.
They're very close to each other. So he just introduced me to this. And
so your best person is Gulshan Rani. You can talk to him and set up a meeting with the research team, and you can take it forward if you like it. So basically, what we do, we are not doing a rocket science, but we show you 10 companies on an Excel sheet, make you the fund manager to show you how simple it is. The only reason you need us, because whatever we're going to show you is the past one. Second, we spend a lot of time in this because we are going to make some money from you, and that is based on the performance you're going to make. And we're going to buy those companies in an early life. For example, just now Anil said about Zoom, we would have not sold Zoom for sure. And because we are seeing the business, we are using Zoom, and we can see that once the 5G will come, Zoom will be in a different tangent. So for example, right now, you can't see me in your house, or I cannot see you here. But once you have 5G cameras, I'm telling you, Zoom is going to change the landscape. In fact, Zoom was equivalent of the market cap of the all aviation company. And today, let's say, for example, Anil ji is sitting in Spain, or let's say I'm going to India and Vikas ji is sitting in Dubai. It is impossible to do business if you do not have these kind of platform. So yes, we will move to the brick and mortar, but we will also be using these together. So Vikas ji, I think we will take it with Gulshan ji. And
thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the last question we have here.
So if we have, I like to ask, if we have 10 or 12 or 15 allocation in our portfolio. Hello.
Yes, Santosh. Can you repeat? If we have 10 to 15 companies in the portfolio, then
how we can divide it by percentage? This much amount of money will be allocated to the first, and this much to the second and third or fourth.
Okay. So all the big investors, the UHNI investors, at the cost level, generally doesn't go more than 10%. Now, asset allocation can be customized based on these beta values, etc., or let's say the Sharpe ratios, which is basically higher the good for you, and the beta low for good. Low is good for you. Believe me, Warren Buffett and all, they have, or Peter Lynch and all, they don't see all that. Now, why Peter Lynch or the fund manager don't see it? Because they have many companies. For example, in case of Mr. Anil, there are a lot of companies. So very difficult to figure out the beta. Second thing, the beta is past. Beta is not future. And we love volatility. Let me repeat this. We love volatility. We don't love risk, but we love volatility. For example, Zoom or Shopify coming crashing down, and then we buy it, we love it because it is now low value, but it is high quality. So we love volatility. So when you ask me this question, generally we at what we do and what we have learned is we buy not more than 10% at the cost level, with one or two exception. What Warren Buffett has done in his life, he allowed American Express and Coca-Cola to become 40% also on the portfolio. So at some point of time, when you feel that this company has gone too high, you might want to cut it. It's very subjective. It's all depending on what does the company do, how do you see the total addressable market, etc. It is not easy to answer, but on a layman level, for example, if you have 20 companies, go 5% in each. If you have 10 companies, go 10% in each. That's the simple answer to your question.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. I think I've taken enough time of yours. It is 1 hour and 20 minutes. You all have to definitely do other works as well. Thanks to Client First Capital team. Thank you, Anil, for asking brilliant question. We have Vikas here. Vikas, you can talk to Gulshan. Gulshan ji, thank you for your time. We will again see you next year. This year, by the way, I also want to tell you Happy New Year in advance because this is the last session for this year. But we'll continue to see you in Jan, Feb, and March. And if you get time and if you have various interest, either you can post us that on what topic you want to have this webinars. But we have a lot of topics which are there on our website, clientfirst.capital, which when I will be sending a thank you email, I will mention it and you can watch it. Have a great day and have a good evening.